If you're tired of trying the rest and want some of the best airbrushes on the market today, this video for you.
Spiking bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Baer, and today we're checking out two of my favorite airbrushes on the market today, both by Steenbeck, a German company out there, incredible design. I just cannot say enough good things about these two airbrushes, but let's run you through it. They're not for everybody. These are top shelf airbrushes, and they both perform specific functions for a specific way of using them, and that's why I got both of them to figure out which one I would want. So let's run them down real quick. Jumping over to spraygunner.com, amazing retailer of airbrushes here in the States. Of course, they have an Amazon store, so it may be quicker for you to get it off there, but if you're on the East Coast, it's probably quicker just to order it straight from their website. And I find a lot of times the prices are cheaper on here. Like I said, I bought both of these airbrushes, Steenbeck, both the Evolution and the Colani. Let's just run it down real quick. The Evolution has a ton of different varieties out there. I wasn't sure which one to get personally until my buddy Parker came over and he had this AL Plus, and I picked it up and I was like, wow, yep, I want that. It's a super light airbrush, amazing internal components, but we'll get to that, of course. But the key here is it weighs like half the weight of a normal airbrush. They say 56 grams. I haven't weighed a traditional airbrush. I couldn't tell you, but I can definitely tell you that it feels like it weighs half as much as the old Iwata I used to use back last summer. I've been using these two airbrushes since about, I want to say like October or November of last year. So I really got a chance to dig into them and really figure out what makes them tick and learn as much as I could about them and make an informed decision about which one I wanted to keep. So we're going to add this one to the cart and go take a quicker look at the Colani as well. Now, Colani is a completely different design that you may have seen out there before. Where is it? That you may have seen out there before. And this particular one, there's two different versions of. There's 0.8, which you're probably not going to want, and then there is the 0.4 that they sell. And then you can buy a 0.2. You can also buy 1.2 millimeter needle for it, but I don't think that's necessary. I stopped at 0.2 and I've had great success with it. But there it is. It is a little different than what you might be used to, but surprisingly, it's still a pinsile grip. It's not a trigger. It's a pinsile grip. So that's why I snagged up both of these to try them out. So first up is my Evolution AL Plus, which I could show you right here. This is an amazing airbrush. It's got the quick release, of course, and you can finite adjust the pressure using that GMAC valve that you saw on it here. Now, it's got this weird kind of fork prong kind of nozzle thing, which I didn't really get at first, but if you squeeze it and you can do your back flushes and everything like that. Everything in here is incredibly well engineered. You can actually switch out the reservoir, but I found that actually keeping the smaller one in here means I use less paint, so I don't waste as much, and also I'm able to gauge how much flow improver that I drop in. I pretty much fill up to right here with the flow improver, and then I put the paint on top of it in about an equal part generally, and that gets it done. Now, speaking of insides, right here you can see that those are I think they're called PTFE or something. These are basically Teflon washers, not those crazy rubber ones that wear out and crack and then you never see them again, and then you got to replace it, and it's just a whole rigmarole in the lesser priced airbrushes. These are top shelf airbrushes, so you're going to get top shelf quality parts. The case here is aluminum. Now, I have gotten so much paint all over this, and I have never had an issue. I can literally just take a little tissue or a little paper towel and just wipe it down, and it's good to go and gone. This thing is so light, like I can't even communicate how awesome it feels to like hold this airbrush instead of having this monster Eclipse. Like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can balance it. Nah, I definitely can't on my finger like it could that one. So this one is my jam. Been using it for a while. Once you get this open, there's a lot of different things to show you real quick before we actually put it through its test. You can adjust the pressure of your air piston right here, or you can make it softer, you can make it lighter. A lot of people like to replace the spring in some cheaper versions of airbrushes, but this one, all you got to do is just twist it, and clockwise or counterclockwise, depending on how you want to go, have a little bit of resistance right there, but there's still a lot more play in it. Believe me, I kind of set it to be a little bit more tougher to kind of push back to give me a little bit better precise control. This is a dual action airbrush, meaning that you can push down to get air and also pull back to give you paint at the same time, so you don't have to worry about that. One of the things I like about the design here is it's two-part. You can screw this cap off if you want to just, you know, airbrush with it off and get to your needle chuck right there, which I used to do a lot, but I find that I really don't have to with this airbrush because the inside components and the coating is so well done that I've never had to clean this with anything else besides water. Just flushing water through it and cleaning it out, I've never had an issue. And we'll get to some cool cleaning stuff here in a second. So first off, to get the needle out, you're just going to unscrew this, and while you hold the air pressure button right there, it actually all comes out as one piece. Now you're going to see that there's a little bit of gunk right here, which may or may not be something I did. It looks like that's oil. So that may be the HP or the cleaner that I was using. But overall, the inside here is pretty clean because there's no backflow from the front area here with the water because of the Teflon packing. You can actually replace this, I believe, on this one. You need a special tool to do it. Don't have it, haven't worried about it. You can see after 5 months of use and zero cleaning back here that, I don't know if you can see it. Try to get it. Can't exactly shine the light down in there, but I can assure you that the air pressure valve right there is pretty much squeaky clean as when I first got it. Trying to shine the light in it. There it is. You can almost see it, but it is still squeaky clean. I like this design of this ball joint right here, so you don't have to worry about that two-part system on cheaper airbrushes where you're trying to like put the little prong in there. It's just a nightmare. This is so much smarter and so much more convenient. The only thing you have to be super cognizant of is to slightly hold this as you're putting the needle back in so you don't jam the needle up on anything and you thread it just right. I'm going to pull this out so I don't accidentally drop it. Now, jumping to the front, you've got your needle guard that you can pull off. You want to hand crank this piece right here. It's going to come out in two separate pieces, so I'm just going to pull it all out together. And then you're going to see the insides right here. Let's zoom in real quick. Okay, probably a little bit better of a view here for you. You can see the inside here where the air chamber is going to mix. There's no crazy wonkiness or anything or things that you can't get to. Just a pretty standard air cavity right there that I like. Here is the front brass fitting that the needle is going to thread through. Very tight tolerances right there, and this is going to accommodate two different needles, 0.4 and 0.2. I believe there might be a 0.3. I don't think there was. And inside here is where the magic happens and also where it gets the most dirty. And they have an amazing forward-thinking design for that one. Now, you know those normal needles that come with an airbrush, they're going to have these exposed metal ends on here, which is terrible. This will scrape up the inside of your airbrush and cause it to corrode or worse, damage it. Hart and Steenbeck have these expertly designed little reverse threaded, so you're going to have, so it actually pulls back and loops the little metal piece there that holds the threads through it. So the exposed piece is going to be in your hand, so you don't have to worry about that. And they give you two specially designed brushes right here, and I'll explain how these work because I'm actually need to clean my Colani. I want to show you how easy it is. But to get that little air hole right there, look, hey, it goes right in there, super easy. You don't have to worry about scraping or destroying anything. Not that you super could, because with something that isn't another piece of metal, this is aluminum, and that's one of the good things about aluminum is unless you can put a stupid amount of pressure on it, it's for the most part kind of a wonder metal. So that's how you clean that. You don't have to worry about any issues right there. It's the exact width of that hole, and hey, guess what? Same thing right here. it goes right in and will clean this gap area as well. Now, if you do get a bunch of paint clogged in there, which you shouldn't, if you're mixing your paint right, they have a thing called the bore or the probe that does exactly what it sounds like. It's going to get in there and allow you to scrape against the sides and pull any, well, you don't want to scrape too bad against the sides, but it's going to allow you to pull any clogs out. You just don't want to push it too far ahead that it kind of bores out the front of your housing and then makes it so your needle doesn't sit. So use it very sparingly just to grab clogs or anything like that and then kind of scrape them to the back of it and you should be good to go. I didn't want to spend too much time cleaning that out because we actually need to give this a good cleaning here. So this is the Colani, the next up airbrush that we showed you. It comes in this really cool kind of collector's case and there's like a sleeve and everything. And then here is the airbrush itself. Now what I like about this one too is that it has the different size reservoir here, and it does come with the larger size that you can screw right in. But for the most part, I used this smaller one right here. Now you will notice that it's, you know, you hold it similar to like you would hold a pistol, but it's still got this pencil grip or pencil grip up here, so it still simulates the natural use of the airbrush that you may or may not be accustomed to. So if you can't get behind triggers, this may work for you. And it's got these really cool, you know, high quality plastic little holder things. Now if you have a larger hand, like, well, I do, a good thing for you might be these little inserts right here to get, or spacers to get everything squared up to where you need it and can hold it comfortably. Like this is probably better for me personally. Now the airbrush itself is designed a little bit better, and here you can see we got a little bit of paint on it. I just wanted to show you how high quality these parts really are, that even though this has been sitting on it for like a day, it's going to come right off. But it's got the two different needles that you can purchase. I don't think it comes with both. There's a 0.2 and a 0.4, and they're very well shipped inside this tube with a little bit of packing material. Then you've got the needle interface right there in the front. The 0.2 is in here, so we can have an apples to comparison using airbrushing some stuff here in a second. So what I do like about this is where the air comes up into here, you don't have as many moving parts, so you're not a lot of parts to actually get dirty and such. Your dirty areas are going to come in right here, and you're not going to have anything coming back through this packing, although the interior components or internal components are still very high quality. They give you this little spray cap, so for this you would probably have to use it to back flush, and because you can't really, with this flarings right here, you can't really get in there and do any of that work. What I like about this too, and you can kind of pull this apart and tinker with it if you want, you really don't need to, because all your cleaning and everything is going to be done in here and in here, that it looks like there's a whole separate area where it combines the air. Like there's a full air chamber coming up into here that flows. And I'll show you what I mean. Let's pull this needle out, which is actually a way shorter needle than what we just showed you with the other airbrush. And pull this apart. That's our flare tip. And then this apart. Everything is screw tight. You don't have to worry about any issues like that. Here is, woo, look at that, gummy. You don't want to see that in your airbrush, but yeah. And then there's, you see where it mixes the air in. The paint's going to be on top, the air is going to come in, it's going to internalize in this chamber right here. So a little bit more area. I just think it mixes better, I've noticed here personally, for my particular like. So that is kind of something I noticed. And then some paint down in there. To get into there, we're going to pull this one off to give you guys. And it looks like it might have been, I might have thrown a little cleaner in there. So first off, we're just going to take, I'm actually using some dirty water and a plastic bristle brush. Do not use metal bristle brushes on this. And we're just going to go across lightly over this coating here and get some of this junk off that's fresh. And for, wow, I have it really dry. But for the most part, we didn't use anything. I'm literally using dirty water right here. and I'm just cleaning it right off. So the coating on here is amazing. Like I said, you can really beat this brush up. I've never had to clean this brush with any other cleaner besides water. So spray it here, water pan, and boom. It's that easy. Like, I literally can't make this shit up. It's so good. I love these airbrushes. And then you've got your specialized brushes that we just showed you on the other one. You got the larger size here for these larger air cavity areas. And there you can see your Teflon O-ring. Looks like we're really up in there. Okay, so we're going to take the smaller one. I'm literally dipping it in dirty water. And we're just going to get right in there. Look at that. It's the perfect size. It's going to do the Lord's work in there on those little areas. And work it back and forth. Oh yeah, there's another chunk of paint. Oh my goodness. Well, that's what happens sometimes. The good news is it dried and it came out pretty easily. Unlike some other airbrushes out there that you might see. So that worked out pretty good. Of course, I'm probably going to have to give this a little bit more of a cleaning than what you see here. Now, this is a great example for the borer, or the probe. We'll call it the probe. So we're just going to take the probe out right here and just go in and lightly grab this junk, kind of pull it towards the back of the airbrush area. Boom. The hugest clog in the history ever is now history. Yeah, out of here. And we're gonna correctly put that away. And the same deal, this is gonna fit right down in there. So we're gonna get in there and kind of work this clean as best we can. And if we notice that there's any issues going more down into the airbrush, of course, we'll look at it, make sure that the light can't escape at the end. Otherwise, we know we got a bigger clog, and we're gonna get in there with the probe a little bit more. But other than that, don't think we're gonna have any issues here. Again, you can see a nice Teflon seal or O-ring right there. None of that junk that's gonna corrode or snap or anything. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty easy from this point. I'll just kind of hose this down off camera here in a second and finish the cleaning. But I definitely wanted to show you how easy it was. And here's the front flaring as well. Very easy to do with the oversized pipe clean. Oh, that was pretty. We'll have to use the plastic. But just to give you an idea, like I said, you literally don't need to use anything else but water on this. So me personally, I tried both of these for many months, and I ended up liking the Evolution AL more than this Colani, which is cool because it was a little bit cheaper. I think the Colani was about $300. This was about $220 or something like that, give or take. So I like cheaper. Cheaper is better, especially when you're talking about the amount of money we spent on this airbrush. And like I said, it has given me no problems just cleaning it out with water. It literally just works. It may quite possibly be powered by magic. I don't know, but I definitely looking forward to a very long and productive life cycle from my Evolution. And I've already sold this other airbrush here to someone else. So hey, that's just the way it goes, I suppose. So figure out what you like, and then keep the one you want, and trade or sell off the other one there. So that is pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed our review of two very, very awesome top shelf airbrushes out on the market, the Evolution AL and the Colani, both by Hart and Steenbeck. Awesome airbrushes. Cannot say enough good things about them. There's some other ones. There's some other Evolutions on there, some 2-in-1s and some different things. I'm sure they are all very similar, high quality as well. So if that's what you are looking for, you're tired of messing around, losing time, cleaning things not working, all that downtime, all that lost productivity, you know, this may be, and just generally ease of use for cleaning and everything else. One of these airbrushes is probably for you. I love these things. They're awesome. And now it's time to show you some spray real quick. So we've got, once again, a listing, a help of our Sigmarines right here. So we're going to do some cutbacks with a burnt umber. switching over to the Evolution AL because they are literally the same airbrush, and I actually prefer this one. I can paint way better with it. So we're gonna get in here. We cut the PSI way down so we can get in nice and tight with some super fine lines. So we're gonna start with the armpit area right there, and kind of cut it back and give it a little bit of room to breathe. And just underneath there, very fine lines, giving a little bit of air to dry up. Probably underneath here, underneath the kneecap, looking good. Elbow, and so some very fine lines indeed are instantly achievable with this thing right here. And I suppose we'll do the other one as well and finish this off. But overall, like I said, I've been incredibly pleased with this Evolution AL right here. Give it the back just to kind of show you. So overall, I got some nice tight lines right there with the Evolution AL 2.0. Just keeping it tight, and we'll come back and do the rest with a real actual brush. But we saved a lot of time right there, and that's what airbrushing is all about. So no matter which one you decide is for you, the Evolution AL or the Colani, I think you should check out both. If you know that you like a more of like a handheld type deal like this, the Colani is probably the way to go right off the bat. But these are definitely top shelf airbrushes, and I cannot recommend either of these enough, as they pretty much have the same performance but just a little bit different features as to the internal combustion and, you know, how you hold them overall. So that's it for this one. If you like these kind of reviews here on the channel, make sure to work out those hobby muscles, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell icon so you can be the very first to like and comment on all these videos.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos,